Welcome. This week we're going to do Parshas Pinchas. So let's begin with a few weeks ago we read Parshas Korach. Parshas Korach, we read the whole story with Korach, his rebellion, and then at the end the earth opened up and swallowed him. The whole story in Parshas Korach. Now, we know that Bnei Korach lo mesu, Korach's children did not die. So I took like an informal survey, and I asked a number of people, all kinds of people in yeshiva, not in yeshiva, I asked them, where does it say that Bnei Korach lo mesu? And most people said, it's either a medrash or a Gemara. But it's not. It's a pasuk in the Torah. Where's the pasuk? Parshas Pinchas. Let's take a look. So after the beginning with Pinchas, then the parsha goes on to a census. We have a census of every shevet. Tells us about the shevet, how many there were, and it gives you the total number of people in the shevet. So the first one is Reuven. So it tells what Reuven, who his children are, and then Bnei Falu Eliyav. The Bnei Eliyav, Nemuel, Dasan Vaviran. Dasan Vaviran were the children of Eliyav. Who Dasan Vaviran Kriya Eda, Asher Hitzu al Moshe Bal Aaron, Badas Korach, Vatiftach Arz Espia, Vatifel Oisam Bes Korach, B'mais Ha'eda, that they all died. The earth opened up, and Dasan Vaviran and the whole Adas Korach, they all died. They went down into the earth. V'nei Korach lo mesu. This is where it says, V'nei Korach lo mesu. What is it doing here? It's doing, first of all, maybe it should be in Parshas Korach. And if it's going to be here, it should be in Shevet Levi. Why is it in the Pekida of Reuven? That's one question. Also, we're doing over here a census. We're counting the people. So why are we talking about Dasan Vaviran who are dead? Why are they being mentioned here? Of course, we count the living people. We don't count the dead people. Every census only counts the people that are living. Why are we counting Dasan Vaviran? And then if you look later, Bnei Yehuda, doing a census of Yehuda, which comes out to whatever the cheshbon is. Bnei Yehuda, V'Oinon, Vayomas V'Oinon Beretz Canaan. He has V'Oinon, and they died in Eretz Canaan. And then the Pekida goes through the third son, Shelah. Now, V'Oinon died hundreds of years before. Why are they being mentioned over here in the Pekida of Yehuda? And the same thing you find by the Pekida of Levi. Again, there's after all the whole Pekida of all the Shvatim, there's a separate mitzvah here to go make a Pekida on Levi. So it says, Vayvoled la'aron esnodav aviyu as a lozav Yisamar. He had 4 children. Vayom esnodav aviyu bakriv meizor lefnei Hashem. Why are we talking about Nodav Avihu? We're doing a Pekida. We're standing over here on the threshold of Eretz Yisrael. We're taking a census. How many people do we have? Why are we talking Nodav Avihu? Why are we talking about V'Oinon? Why are we talking about Dasan Vaviran? So I think that the pshat is like this. Every person in Klal Yisrael has a purpose. He has a tachlis. He has something that he has to contribute. Klal Yisrael is like a huge jigsaw puzzle. It has many, many little pieces. Thousands, millions of pieces. Some pieces are bigger, some pieces are smaller, but every piece fits into this overall jigsaw puzzle. And all of them together create the picture of Klal Yisrael, where everybody fits together and everybody has a role and they all fit together. Now, every person who has a tachlis of what he's supposed to contribute, when he dies, that is perpetuated through his children, and through his grandchildren, and through his great-grandchildren. So whatever role that he has to fulfill in Klal Yisrael is continued through his children and all his descendants. However, what if a person has no children? Then whatever role he has to do is not fulfilled. And then there is a hole in the jigsaw puzzle. So this is what it's saying over here. We're doing a census of Klal Yisrael. So the Torah is telling us, Dosan Vavira, and actually were quite big people, and they had a function, they had a purpose, they had a role in Klal Yisrael, and they died, and they had no children. Everybody died, they and their children. So whatever purpose, whatever role they had to fulfill in Klal Yisrael is empty. There's a hole in the jigsaw puzzle. So this is what the Torah is telling you. This is the census, but there's a hole. There's somebody missing. Who is missing? Dosan Vavira are missing. Why? Because whatever role they had to fulfill, they couldn't fulfill neither through themselves or through their children. So this is what the Torah is telling you over here. So why shouldn't we? So what's with Korach? So the Torah tells you, Dosan Vavira left a hole. Korach did not leave a hole. Even though they all went together into the pit, but they left the hole, Korach left no hole. Why? Because of Bnei Korach lo yimesu. That's what he's telling us here. So if you go on by Yehuda, V'Oinan, Yehuda had 3 sons, V'Oinan and Shelah. V'Oinan were the sons of Yehuda. So they had an important role in Klal Yisrael, and they died, and they had no children. So whatever role they had to fulfill, whatever role was unique to them, that's a whole. So the Torah tells you the Pekid of Yehuda is incomplete. There is a hole. It's now no shleimus. And the same thing by Levi. The role of Levi and Nadav Avihu were very big people. They were supposedly going to be the successors to Moshe and Aaron, and they died. So whatever they were supposed to do in Klal Yisrael, whatever their function was supposed to be, is unfulfilled. So the census of Levi is incomplete. That's why the Torah tells you about the people that died and left no children. But what happens what if a person has no children? Then what? So then he has no contribution, he's meaningless. So I just want to refer back to the first pasuk in Toldos. So it says like this: Elu told us Noach. These are the generations of Noach. These are his descendants. Noach is tzaddik tamim. Noach was a tzaddik. So why? Before he gets to tell you the children are, it tells you that Noach was a tzaddik. Why does it tell you that? So Rashi has 2 pshatim. First it says zecher tzaddik levracha, and then he says another pshat. Lamedcha sheikir told the same shal tzaddikim masim toivim. The main toldos, the main generations, the legacy of tzaddikim, generations are the legacy of the patriarch. The person who has children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, that's his legacy. And they continue his legacy, and that's how he fulfills his role in Klal Yisrael. But a tzaddik's main toldos are his maisim toivim. Now it doesn't say his mitzvahs. It doesn't say the Torah that it learns. It says his maisim toivim. Maisim toivim means gemilas chasodim. So when the tzaddikim, they do chesed, they do gemilas chasodim, then that has a great effect on their surroundings, on their sviva, on the kehillah. It has a great effect, and that creates a chain reaction. You do chesed, so that causes more chesed, causes different things. So whenever the tzaddikim, they do maisim toivim, that sets into motion a long chain reaction, and that chain reaction goes down from generation to generation. It's not only during their lifetime. That effect of their maisim toivim is in the next generation, and goes through all generations. So the maisim toivim are the toldos of tzaddikim. So if a person has a role to fulfill and he does maisim toivim, so then his death is not a hole in the jigsaw puzzle. It's not a hole in Klal Yisrael because his his role is fulfilled through the Ma'asim Tovim that he does. However, Dalsim Vaviron were not tzaddikim, and therefore the only way they could have toldos, they could have the legacy should go on, is only through children. The children died along with them. Erva Einan were also, we don't see anywhere they were tzaddikim, and they were big balei chesed. We don't see that. So again, if they die and they left no children, there's a hole in the puzzle. And what's with Nadav Avihu? Nadav Avihu were very big tzaddikim, but Nadav Avihu were really had a tremendous role in Klal Yisrael. They were destined to become the leaders of Klal Yisrael. So the Ma'asim Tovim that they did will compensate for part of the whole, but the rest of what they were destined to do is not compensated by Ma'asim Tovim, and therefore their absence needs to be mentioned in the census of Shevet Levi, because there's a hole in the census of Shevet Levi. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Now, let's go a little bit further in the Parsha. So, Vaydaber Moshe al Hashem Leimar. This is after the story of the Bnei Slavchad, that they came and they said, they wanted a Yarshan from their father. So after that story, and the Rebbeinu Shalom said that in Yerusha, if there are no sons, the daughter Yarshan is the father, and otherwise it would be his brothers, his male relatives. But he said no. If there's a daughter, then the daughter Yarshans, even though there are male relatives. So after this parsha, then Vaydaber Moshe al Hashem Leimar, the only time in the Torah where you have this kind of pasuk where Vaydaber Moshe al Hashem Leimar, usually it's the other way around. It says Yifkod Hashem Elokei Ruchos L'Chol Basar Ish Halo Eda. It's as saying to the Rebbeinu Shalom that after he dies, that the Rebbeinu Shalom should appoint somebody who will succeed him, will be a leader of Klal Yisrael. Asher Yetzel Lifneim, Vasher Yovel Lifneim, Vasher Yetziim, Vasher Yeviim, V'lo Yisi Adas Hashem Katzoin She'ein Lehem Raya. Don't leave them like sheep without a shepherd. So the Chaim right away asks, why does Moshe have to be Mizarez the Rebbeinu Shalom, like he has to urge him and motivate him that he should make sure that they're not left leaderless, wandering sheep, that the Rebbeinu Shalom appointed a leader, he'll appoint another leader. Why is he saying Yifka Hashem Kei Ruchos? And what does he want? Of course, when he's nifta, somebody else will be the one. What does he want? Another question is that if you look in Parshas Devarim, so this is Moshe Rabbeinu is reviewing the history of Klal Yisrael and the Midbar. So now he's talking about the Meraglim. Now in our Parsha, he's standing here, he's on the threshold of Eretz Yisrael. He is about facing the end of his life. Now, the Ma'aseh with the Meraglim was 38 years earlier. So he says like this: Gam bi son of Hashem beglalchem leimar. Hashem got angry with Kaviyachol, that he got angry with Moshe, and he said, what did he get angry about? Because Moshe L'maaseh sent him Meraglim. He didn't have to. He decided to send him Meraglim, and there was a disaster. So the Rebbeinu Shalom got angry at him and said, Gam ato lo yisov Hashem. You are not going to come to Eretz Yisrael. Yeshua ben Nun oimed lefanecha. Yeshua ben Nun your talmid. Hu yavai shama oisei chazek ki hu yanchilenu Eretz Yisrael. So he told him 38 years before that Yeshua would be his successor. So what's his problem now? Why is he saying you should have a, Ishal Ha'eda, shouldn't be son Shalom Roya? What's with Yeshua? He's not a good Roya. What does he want? And Rebbeinu Shalom answers him, Kach l'chos Yeshua ben Nun, v'samachtas yadcha olav. Take Yeshua ben Nun. Yeshua ben Nun is already designated 38 years old earlier. All of a sudden now he's telling him Yeshua ben Nun. Is he reminding him now? He's telling him do it now. make smicha now. Now Rashi says, what does Moshe want? Kiv mishashama Moshe she'amalei amakom ten nachla ten nachal slavcha lebnoisov, give the nachal slavcha to his daughters. Amari said, Higia sho she'et v'tzrachai. Now I'm going to ask what I need. What do I need? She'yirshu bana es gedulasi. He wanted his sons should be his successors. They should inherit his position. Amalei Kadosh Baruch Hu lo yikach also machshav l'fanai. That's not. This is not what I want. K'da Yeshua l'titzcha shimushay. So it should be Yeshua. Now, the connection of the Bnei Slavchad, I would think, is that the Bnei Slavchad were generally the male is the one that inherits. I don't know. It's the chiddush over here that the daughters inherited, because I guess they have a primary role in society. So the males are heirs and not the daughters. However, if there are no sons, then the bunch of Mechadish that the daughters, even though they're not on the same level as the father's brothers, but nonetheless, the daughters they should inherit. So this, I guess, what Moshe was saying, that even though his sons are not on the level of whoever else it could be, if it would be Yeshua or Pinchas or Asniel Beknas or whoever, but they're not on that level. However, you see that when it comes to your own children, if you don't have children that are on that level, then the ones on a lower level can also yashin. So therefore, I want that my sons should inherit my position, even though they're not equal to other people. That's what he was saying. And Rabban Shem told him, no, I want Yeshua. So what exactly, this is basically the question. What is going on over here? Yeshua was appointed 38 years before, and now Moshe wants his children, and he's saying to Rabban Shalom, make sure you don't leave them leaderless. How would they be leaderless? You have Yeshua. What is going on here? So, I'd like to, Mirz Hashem, when we get to Parshas Shoftim, to the mitzvah of Som Tos Melech HaMelech, then, I'll discuss this topic at greater length. But at least this, I'll tell you part of it now, is that why did they wait 400 years to be Mekayim this mitzvah of Som Tos Melech HaMelech? And when they asked for a melech, why did Shmuel get upset? And why did Hashem told them, Lo b'chamasu ela bimasu, they didn't reject you, they rejected me, because ani malkam, and now they're rejecting me. But there's a mitzvah of Som Tos Melech HaMelech. So we'll get into all the nuances a little bit later, with the way they asked and what they asked. But the point is that in the Tkufas HaShoftim, in those 400 years, the pasuk says, Bayom Mehem Ein Melech BiYisrael Ish HaYosher Beinav Yasa. Everybody did what they wanted. Now this is L'Shvach and L'Gnai. It's L'Gnai because they did whatever they want and they did Averas. It's also L'Shvach because if they did mitzvahs and they lived properly, then they did it without anybody controlling them, without anybody telling them what to do. Who told them what to do? The Torah. If they had a question in the Torah, you used to go to the Rav. They went to the Shofet. The Shofet was the Rosh, was the head of the Sanhedrin. They used to go to the Shofet. They had to know, Pashat, what is the halacha. But once you knew what the halacha is, they didn't need any kind of government to control them. So they were Ein Melech BiYisrael. It was anarchy. That means anarchy means no government, anarchy. But anarchy is not necessarily chaos. If the people are self-regulated and they follow the Torah and they obey what the Rebbe Shem tells them to do, then it's only anarchy. It's not chaos. So this is what they were trying to do. They were trying to create a society because the purpose of the Melech is not to be, a president, a chief executive to manage all the departments and the military. No, the mitzvah of Som Tos Melech HaMelech means to be that ultimate manig who's going to bring Klal Yisrael to the highest levels of ruchnias. That was the purpose. So in order to bring in such a person, it was necessary at first that was the ideal, to establish a society which is able to function without a government, without an executive branch, just to have a Sanhedrin to rule on what the halacha is. And that executive branch, but that is only possible if the society is stable. Now, during the Tkufa Shoftim, there were ups and downs. It says these type of periods where they were self-functioning, that the pasuk says in one pasuk, a few places, Harboim Shana Shokta Oretz. All the stories of Shoftim are all about the downfalls where they get influenced by the pagans, and they start doing avodah zarah, and then they have to get a shofet to go mobilize them and inspire them, and these are all the stories with the ups and downs. But every once in a while there was Harboim Shana Shakta Aretz. 40 years it was good. It was the right thing. Shmoinim Shana Shakta Aretz, another pasuk, 80 years, things were great. You were doing the right thing, it was going there. But it wasn't stable. It wasn't stable. You had a long stretch where it worked, and then back to chaos. So that wasn't stable. So Klal Yisrael was not ready for the king that the mitzvah was given, is telling them to have. This Manig Ruchni was not going to have to dirty his hands with politics and managing the government and all kinds of executive issues. He's not going to have to do that. So they were not ready. But they asked for a melech because they wanted to fight with Nachash HaMayni. They needed a melech who was going to organize. That was not what the mitzvah was. So really, there was a shofet, and then there was a melech. Moshe was a melech. 38 years earlier, when it says that Yeshua is going to be Hu Yavai Esa'am, that means Yeshua will be the shofet. Moshe was also a shofet, which we will talk about in Parshas Vayelech. But Moshe was the melech, and Yeshua, he told him, after you, Yeshua will be the shofet. Not a melech, will be the shofet. And you see that because the pasuk says in Devarim, it says, Hu Yavai Esa'am, he will come with the people, and in Veschanan, it says, he's going to go in front of them. He's going to become a leader. When did he become a leader? When did he become a melech? Yeshua was a melech, the Gemara says. Yeshua became a melech here in Parshas Pinchas. This is where he became a melech. So by the time of the Meraglim, he only became a shofet. He only said he's going to be a shofet. After you, Yeshua will be your successor as shofet. But melech he didn't say. Now, what Moshe was saying here says, he was being mispalel, that the Tkufas HaShoftim maybe he was going to start with Yeshua. That Yeshua will be the shofet, and the Tkufas HaShoftim will start with Yeshua, not with a Snil ben Knaz. We'll start with Yeshua. So he said that they are not ready for this. They're coming out of Mitzrayim, they were Avodim, and in the Midbar, they were, everything. They had the man, they had everything. Now they're coming to Israel. They have to fight a war of conquest. They have to go live normally and have businesses and farms. They're not ready for this type of a society, this utopian society, which is anarchy, which can live which can exist without a government. They're not ready for this. So Yivkad Hashem Alakei Aruchos Chalbasa, they need a melech. They need somebody who's going to control the society, not just somebody who's going to be set an example and inspire them and bring them high. They need a melech. Just like later, briefly, like when they asked for a melech, who were they given? They were given Shaul. Shaul was not from Yehuda, and his mitzvah of L'yasa shevet Yehuda. A melech has to be from Yehuda. And they were given Shaul. What's the pshat? Farshim speak about this. Now the pshat is that Shaul was not that melech. That was the mitzvah of Sam Tosim Lachamelech. He was just he was a governor. He was a chief executive. That was his job. He did not. His was now. What would be with L'yasa Shevet Yehuda? So we'll talk about this in Shoftim. But what would be afterwards if Shaul hadn't? If he had not sinned, then if he could have continued, what would have been? Okay, it's a different topic. But what Moshe was saying is that since we need somebody who's going to run the society, so let my children do this. That's what he said. Yeshua should be the shofet, absolutely. Who's going to be the melech? The melech should be my children, because I see by Bnei Slavchad that even a secondary level heir could inherit if it's a child. So over here, these are my children. Let them inherit this. So Rabbi Shalom told them, no. He said, it has to be Yeshua. Yeshua will be a melech. He will be a melech. He'll be both. He'll be a melech who's going to control. He's also going to be the Rebbe, the Godel, the Tzaddik, and he's going to do everything. It should be Yeshua. And Taka, he agreed to his tefillah, he answered his tefillah, and he said, we will not start Kufas Shoftim now. We'll start the Kufas Shoftim after we come into Eretz Yisrael, and after we conquer the land, and we settle it. The Pasuk says, you don't put the melech before the conquest to help you conquer it. No, first you have to conquer it, then you have to settle it. After that, hopefully you'll have a stable society, like they tried in the Kufas Shoftim. Then you could have a melech. That the melech will not be corrupted by being busy with things that he shouldn't be busy with. I want to conclude with one thing, that the melech should go out in front of them and should come back in front of them. So Rashi says, not like the Malchi Umayis, that they sit in their palaces and they send out the armies. No, he's going to go out in front of them. Now, really, to go out in front of the army and into battle is a very risky thing. And even the generals, usually a general will not be in the front of the army. He'll stay all the way in the back and he'll direct it, what he do. But he's not going to go into the heat of battle. Well, there's a good chance he'll get killed. You could afford to lose a sergeant, lieutenant, but a general is a big loss. So you have to take care of them. He shouldn't be in the front. So what is the purpose he says should go in the front? Why is he going to go in the front? And why is that such a big thing? Okay, that's one question. And the other question is, he said that he should go out in front of them, and he should come back in front of them. When you're coming back from the battlefield, you won. It's over. You were successful. You're coming home. Why does the melech have to walk in front of the army? I mean, let him do what he wants. So what's the purpose in walking in front of the army? So I want to say, I think it's ganz pashut, that when the melech goes out, this melech that he says, that he's asking for, he should go out in front. It doesn't mean that he should go out in front with his brandishing a sword and saying, charge, and let's go, and there's this, and, that's not what his purpose is to go in the front. The purpose of the melech going in the front is to set an example for the people. How does an Erlich Hayid, how does a Tzaddik, how does Yirei Shemayim go out to battle? Does he go with blood-curdling screams, war cries, battle cries? No, he goes out b'hachno. He goes out with a tefillah on his lips. He's saying a kapitel tilim. He's b'teach on the Rebbeinu Shloim. That's how he goes out. He goes out understanding that there's no koich v'yotzim yodi. That's how he goes out, and that's why he should walk in front. Then the people are going into battle, and they look at the melech and they look at how he's going. That will inspire them and teach them how do you go to battle. Don't go like a Vildachaya to battle like these pagan soldiers. You go like an Erlich Hayid, you go to battle. And Huadin, when you come back from battle, it's also important to have the Melech walking in front. Don't come back from battle, saying, we won, Didon Notzach, or whatever. We won, and we beat them, and we're victorious, That's not how you go back. That's not how you go back. You go back with a shvach v'da to Rabbeinu Shalom, with ha'akara that everything was the siyata d'shmaya. You go back with giving toida to the Rabbeinu Shalom. That's how Erel Chiyid goes back, and it's important when they're coming back. The Melech should go in front and set an example to the people. How does a person come back in battle? Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again next week.